What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined by my dad, Sean, and today, reactions to the classics. Got another song battle in store for you, courtesy of suggestion from our patron and friend of the channel, Fran. Fran is always appreciated, man.
Definitely.
And as you can see at the bottom, going to be starting out with the track In Spite of Ourselves by John Prine, featuring Iris Dement, and that Iris is going to also make an appearance as well in this battle with her solo track Our Town. So don't know any of Iris's work and familiar with John Prine and enjoy him. So I'm looking forward to getting after this one. So I guess, Dad, we can start with In Spite of Ourselves.
Yes, it's the 13th studio album for John, featuring duet with various well-known female folk and alt-country vocalists. It was released back in '99. The album was his first since successfully battling throat cancer, and this is the only song that he wrote on the album. He said, quote, "In Spite of Ourselves was the first thing I wrote that resembled work since my cancer. I had so much radiation in my throat area I couldn't sing. I could talk, but I didn't have any power in my voice. I've been kicking around the idea of a female duets record for a while, so I made a list of 2 to 3 women per song until I had a list of about 35. He reflected about this back in 2019 on the 20th anniversary. In the liner notes booklet, he shared, I made a list of my favorite girl singers, and the first 9 I called said yes. I nearly fell over. During his cancer recovery, Billy Bob Thornton approached him about being featured in a film he was making, Daddy and Them. Thornton and Marty Stewart were piecing together the music and asked Prine to write a song. He came up with what became the title track of the album, This One.
Yeah, and when he wrote the song, he told NPR that he had Dement in mind. Quote, I kind of had her voice in mind when I was doing it because I know Iris can be a little sassy and she could tear this guy down. I called and explained I was going to send it to her. I told Iris, I want you to listen to this and just see. It's got a few questionable things in it that you're going to have to say, so you just tell me whether you want to do it or not. We'll leave it at that. So I didn't hear back from her for 3 weeks, nothing. Finally, I called her and I said, Iris, and she said yes. And I was like, well, and then she said, not while my mother's alive. Then she ended up doing it anyway.
Well, now I want to know what's in this thing. So on that note, we're going to have the lyrics up. As always, we'll listen to this one, and then we'll get to Iris's tune. Thanks again, Fran. That signature Prine sound.
Oh, no, you're right, man.
She don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. Caught him once and he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too sharp, but he gets things done. Drinks his beer like it's oxygen. But he's my baby, and I'm his honey. Never gonna let him go.
In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
Yeah, I do love this melody, man.
Yeah, melody's great.
She thinks all my jokes are corny. Convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs. Swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs. She takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I'm never gonna let her go.
He's got more balls than a big brass monkey. He's a whacked out weirdo and a love bug junkie. Sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes and he's a howling at the moon. But he's my baby, I don't mean maybe. Never gonna let him go.
In spite of ourselves, we'll end up a sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up a-sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves.
In spite of ourselves, John Prine, Iris Dement here, and man, I thought that was a very just heartfelt tune all the way around, and I enjoyed the way that John would go, then Iris would go, and then they'd harmonize together.
Yeah, I liked it. I think, it's just one of those songs written to be funny, but like you said, with an overall arching theme of, look, man, you're not perfect, I'm not perfect, but I accept you just like you are. She puts at the end of her first verse, it's verse 2 in the song, he's my baby and I'm his honey, I'm never going to let him go. So recognizing our flaws, yet embracing them and staying together.
Yeah, and I think that line in the chorus where they, come together and harmonize in spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. Prine is a very clever songwriter
Very
in that
much
regard. So. And, I think some of that cleverness showed through in this on top of just his signature, acoustic guitar sound. It was just a very pleasing melody on top of that. And you could tell Prine had a little more age in his voice, and that contrasted with Iris's younger voice, also made it a bit interesting as well, man. So no complaints about this jam at all. And now we're going to go up to Iris's tune here, Our Town, from the record Infamous Angel. And Iris is an American two-time Grammy-nominated singer and songwriter, and her musical style includes elements of folk, country, and gospel.
She was inspired to write her first song, this one, by a drive through a boarded-up Midwest town at the age of 25. The song lyrics came to her, quote, exactly as it is now, without need for rewriting. And she realized then that songwriting was her calling in life. At 25, it's a pretty cool story. So
not too late for me.
Yeah, that's right.
Getting that country flavor.
Definitely.
From the jump.
And the sun's setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Well, go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your lover, 'cause your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun setting down on our town, on our town? Good night. Up the street beside the red neon light, that's where I met my baby on one hot summer night. He was the tender and I ordered a beer. It's been 40 years and I'm still sitting here. But the sun's setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. We'll go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your lover, 'cause your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun setting down on our town, on our town? Good night. It's here I had my babies and I had my first kiss. I've walked down Main Street in the cold morning mist. Over there is where I bought my first car. It turned over once, but then it never went far. And I could see the sun setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Well, go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your lover, 'cause your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to buried my pa. They sleep up the street beside the pretty brick wall. I bring them flowers about every day, but I just gotta cry when I think what they'd say. If they could see how the sun's setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Well, go on now and kiss it goodbye, but hold on to your lover, 'cause your heart's bound to die. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. Can't you see the sun setting down on our town, on our town? Good night. Now I sit on the porch and watch the lightning bugs fly, but I can't see too good, I got tears in my eyes. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I don't wanna go. I love you, my town, you'll always live in my soul. But I can see the sun setting fast, and just like they say, nothing good ever lasts. Well, go on, I gotta kiss you goodbye, but I'll hold to my lover, 'cause my heart's about to die. Go on now and say goodbye to my town, to my town. I can see the sun has gone down on my town, on my town. Good night. Good night.
All right, Iris Dement on the track, Our Town here. From the jump, Dad, you could kind of feel that country folk blend in there, and even in her voice, which had a bit of almost an accent. I don't know if I didn't know she was American, if I would think she was American whenever she was singing this. But what do you think of this one?
I thought it's a great story.
Oh, man, I loved it.
First one out of the block, and it feel like I've heard this song, not her version, but the chorus part. Go on now and say goodbye to our town, to our town. It seems like I've heard that before, but I don't know. But it's the story of, if you grow up in a smaller town, it could be a super small town, but a smaller town where your entire life and all your memories are in this town. And if you're leaving it, it's like, I'm not just leaving the town, I'm leaving all of this stuff.
All these pivotal moments that happened.
My whole life, man. And so, yeah, it's really, really good.
No, I think that nostalgia was really an effect on this, and just that reminiscing of what occurred back in the day, and she even mentions like, I buried my mom and pa over there.
They sleep behind that brick wall,
and this is where I had my first kiss, and I went up Main Street here. As here I had my babies. Bought my first car. All these seminal moments are tied to this town, and if you go to a new place, all that history is not going to be there. You got to make those new memories and whatnot. And I thought it was really tight how at the very end, this whole town, or this whole time you're hearing the chorus, this is our town, our town. Then she switches up, go on now and say goodbye to my town, because she sees the sun is setting, and we kind of get cued in that, hey, she's got to kiss it goodbye. She's leaving it now, finally, after all this time, man. So I thought there was a sense of melancholy kind of throughout as well. Maybe,
yes, that's great.
Maybe aided by that violin that was so prominent as well in the musical arrangement here. But all that to say, man, I guess it's time for us to go now to our winner of this battle. Iris will get the dub in some capacity here. It's just if John Prine is going to be joining her or not.
Well, Prine has a ton of fans, and for good reason, and his songwriting is so clever, but this is an easy win, and that's nothing against Prine, but Our Town's an easy winner for me.
Well, I'm on that same wavelength.
And that's
with
just
you,
because it's
man.
such a well-written song, man.
I was like, man, it's going to be tough to top the 1-2 combo of
That's what I
Prine
thought,
and
too.
Iris, but the story was just so darn good, man, that I can't help but give Our Town the nod here. Please let us know down below, y'all, which of these you have as your winner. Be sure to give some love to Fran for bringing these to our attention today. Fran, man, never misses with the song battle, and today's
no pressure, Fran.
No exception. And if you like to have us us do a reaction or song battle for you, you can check out our Patreon page, which will be linked down below, as well as at the end screen here in just a moment. Well, Dad, that'll wrap it up.
That's it for today.
From us, and until next time, y'all, thanks for watching, happy listening, and we will see you.